Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Abishai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen nations that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And this is a lesson revisited that I did years ago. And this is being done in response to the video of the Jake that Elder Yasharamba did the video on, that was coming against what the fabricated title of Black Hebrew Israelites. Was simply the Hebrew Israelites. It's like we tell you over and over again, there is no such thing as black people. The name black is a social construct which was created. All right, the people on the screen are different shades of brown, from dark brown to a light brown. Just like you have people that are different shades of red. All right, you have brown people and you have red people in different shades thereof. There is no black nor no white. This is a black and white picture, and this really made it easy for them to push that lie when this was the case. But now you have HD TV and high definition, and you can clearly see the red on people that you refer to as white. As a matter of fact, just click on anything with Glenn Beck. His hair is white, but his skin is red. So now that we got that out the way, some footage in these videos. This is the disclaimer: Fair Use Act, USC Code 17. There will be no sound, but some of these images are attached to different videos of Billie Holiday's song. Strange Fruit, and this is there wasn't any videos being made at the time, music videos anyway, at the time of Billie Holiday's career and her death and prior to her, but nevertheless, this is a lesson that truly needs to be gone into as a result of that. So I'm going to talk about some historical facts that happened here in the New World that allowed that put Esau Edom, the so-called white man, into the position that he's in. All right, the wealth, and some undeniable, irrefutable facts. So without any further ado, let's go into this thing. Historical facts that cannot be refuted. The first was extermination of the so-called Native Americans, right, which are the tribe of Gad and Reuben. And even some Issachar was here in the Americas. There were certain parts of America where the empires from Mexico extended well up into the Americas, all right, all the way up until Montana, all right. So that was the first thing. All right, and then and it gave a racial unfair advantage was given by the illegal U.S. government that was newly created. All right, because it may be legal to them, but it's illegal to the Most High God, to the power of the Bible, which is Yahweh. And one of the first acts that they did they created first system was the head right system. In Virginia in 1618. See, Virginia was a very important place in times past. All right, a lot of things started in Virginia that spread not only around America but to the whole world. All right, so you had your 50 acres to every head of household. That was the head right nation. The head right deal which they signed. So if you are a landowner and you own slaves, you got 50 acres per person to your household, because your slaves were part of your household. And it allowed Edomites to come over and receive hundreds of acres of land. The example, and even if your family members, for every family member you have, so the larger your family, the more land you got. Land is wealth. All right, so a good example of that is the movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. What was it called? Far From Home. I forget the name of it, or Far Away from whatever it was called. But and then you have to remember too that Gad was given polio blankets to help clear out that land. The Gatling gun, the machine gun, was created also to help clear out that land. And then rifles, repeater rifles, and handguns that can shoot over and over again. Villages were burned to the ground. Just watch Dances with Wolves. All right, it tells you in the scriptures that a great troop would overtake Gad, but in the end they would get. And so we're in that end part, but nevertheless, this is what happened. All right, so that Dances with Wolves was a good example of that. And then the more recent movie was that Lone Ranger movie that came out. Okay, so let's get a couple of scriptures, man. This is Isaiah. Jeremiah. The 10th chapter and the 13th verse. And it reads, "For he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man." And that's the pride of Esau, Edom. But hey, now that this, let's shoot up to Habakkuk. 2:16. And it reads, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." So now it's an embarrassing shame, the things that are happening to Esau, Edom, as a result of all the wickedness that he did. Now his history is a shame because it's being put before him, all the things, and how they benefited from all this wrongdoing. Let's go to Sirach, the 10th chapter. This is Sirach 10:8, and it reads, "Because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." Shameful spewing on your glory. Shameful spewing on your glory. You're proud of your hatred. And this are the teachers of Christianity. These were your Christians. And after church, this was their activities. Your beloved Christians. All right. Let's go to Sirach 21:8. And it reads, "He that buildeth his house with other man's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial." And so with all that hate and all that wrongdoing, all those bad deals, all that criminal activity that you passed off and written as law, all right? And we still rose up. We still learned who we were. And now we've learned who you are. And part 2 of your manifest destiny is now that all this that you did has to be done unto you double. Thus saith the Bible. For it says in Revelation, the 18th chapter, go to it. This is Revelation 18:6, and it reads, reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So as this current system of things is collapsing and failing, and the sins of Esau Edom is being brought forward, everything that you've done will be done double unto you, thus saith the Bible. Let's go into some more history, part 2. Oh, let's not forget, in Virginia in 1681 was probably the most pivotal thing, the part of their history that really was the most damn commercials. Son of a gun, Salakia. There we go. The part of their history that's probably the most damaging. And we all know what the images are on the screen. As a matter of fact, there's a King James Bible that if you turn it up, left side straight up, they even put those images right on the cover of the Bible, man. So they know, in the form of art. You know, it's a design that looks exactly like this, in the form of a design. But in 1681 in Virginia, they wrote into law the name white and placed the name white upon the Caucasian race. That's another thing that happened in Virginia in 1681. So prior to 1681, there was no such thing as white people. That was something that they created. So now you had a white narrative and a black narrative, and they've ran a full course with it. You had so-called black people and so-called white people, but the strange thing is, though, the people of the Bible, the people of the Lord, are described as being black, which simply meant dark flesh. But nevertheless, that's a very important thing that happened in history in Virginia in 1681, among many other things. All right, so let's go to the next thing, the next act that they did. The second act that really helped launch the power structure that it is today was the Homestead Act of 1862. Because you got to think, most of all your colleges, even the White House, were built by the very people that were imprisoned on these boats, stacked upon each other like sardines, you know, defecating and urinating on each other, throwing up on each other, after birth from women, listening to the screams of the rapes of the women, of the children, of the men. The men were raped too. You know, the beatings. And the amount of sickness that spread because of the tight quarters, and then how, you know, they would lose a good portion of their cargo on such a rough trip over here. Not taking in consideration, you were stuck on you were like a cup on a shelf in a cabinet, stacked upon each other. Some people had claustrophobia, you know, rats and mice crawling among them. It was just a horrible, horrible condition. And all this was done by Christians. Christians did this. The same Christians that built the theology schools that you go to today. But the Indian Removal Act, all right, the Homestead Act and the Indian Removal Act go hand in hand. All right, it says two systems that put Edomites in financial superior positions. It says even 930 slave owners were given $300 per slave, equal to about 7,200 today. All right, some slave owners had hundreds and hundreds of slaves. All right, so you just got more incentives for land, more incentive for money. I mean, more incentives and got more money out of the deal. So let's grab a couple of more scriptures, man. This is Isaiah 14. Turn right to it. In 21. And it reads, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise up nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right? Nor fill the face of the world with cities. Yeah, there is a payment coming for the things that you have done. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 13th chapter. And the 14. Yeah, all right. Deuteronomy 13 and 14, and it reads, Then thou inquire and make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you. And it is true. They've done this abominable act to the Lord's people. He searched it out and found it to be true. And these are the artifacts that we constantly ask for. Because in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 45th verse, these images that you see said it will be a proof, a proof, an evidence of who the children of Israel are. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 45, and it reads, Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. All right? So the images that we're looking at were promised to be a sign, a proof when you look into the word. All right? So there will be proof, evidence of who the children of Israel are. All right? And it's funny with hangings that go well into the 100,000 mark. No one ever served any time, ever went to jail for any of them. Judges, police officers, lawyers, teachers, fathers. And as you saw in some of the images, they brought their whole families, their daughters on their sons on their shoulders. Yep. Right? Proudly posing with their wives, with the pictures, with the dead mangled bodies. And when you saw them with their pants hanging down, they had already cut off their genitals, beating them bloody. They didn't hang them. They beat them horribly, horrifically, and tortured them before death. All right. Third thing that happened in history was redlining. All right. And VA loans, 1930 to 1960 loans, went to whites only. Created a white middle class in neighborhoods and inner cities. Blue area whites only. Yellow, lower middle class. Red were for blacks or Latinos. All right. Point blank period. Let's go back. We went too far. Like I said, I love it when they wear red. And you noticed it says smallpox in there. The very thing that they use to destroy Gad with, man. And, and it says Negroes for sale. Never said anything about Africans. All right? Because so-called Africans was a different dark race. A completely different race of people. And that's another lie that came along with this black and white narrative. They took everyone that was dark skinned and grouped them together as if they were the same seed line, same spur line, and they were not. All right. So-called Africans actually helped capture the so-called Negroes along with the Arabs. And then when you watch the movie Roots, the original, around the 40 minute mark in the first episode, it shows you that the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, comes to life when it shows you a Negro, a so-called Negro being captured by an African Hamite, and a so-called Arab, and being sold to a so-called white man. And that's written right in the book of Joel. It gave you that prophecy that that would happen. So those particular details of history are left out when they talk about the African slaves, and they emphasize the word African, knowing that it's a controlled narrative, that it's a lie, a propagated lie. But back to redlining and VA loans and the separations. This created generational wealth and inequality, along with draconian laws which kept Israelites oppressed, especially Judah. That's why they filled up the jails, which is also written in the scriptures, that they will fill up. They will be locked in the prison houses. There is no place in the planet where a bunch of Israelis are locked in prison houses, and the Israelis have failed to produce signs and evidence of their being put on slave ships and carted around the four corners of the earth with yokes of irons around their necks either. We've asked this question so many times in the past. Where are the images like this of Jewish people? Where are they? Where are the evidences of this? Where are the relics that show you in yokes of irons, being put on slave ships and carted around the four corners of the earth? All right. And this is and those were policies that were very, very cruel and very, very unfair. And these Edomites don't care because they benefit. The ones today, they benefited from it. You really cared, you'd be trying to give back some of that generational wealth that you got unjustly, but they're not, are they? This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So the Bible says, woe unto them, destruction unto them. All right? Because that's what woe means. And just so that you know, statistics show that more than 40% of whites are on welfare. All right? Blacks and Hispanics only make up 35% of the population combined, according to their numbers. All right? So, and the state of Israel today gets billions in welfare from America yearly. Seems only blacks became lazy after slavery ended. This is Job 21. Let's go to the book of Job. Verses 7 through 9. And it reads, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of God upon them. But I promise you that's going to change. The Lord is going to annihilate Esau, Edom for what they have done. There is a judgment coming. So I don't want to make this lesson, too much longer. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Abashai Bashim Wakak Badash Wa Abab Abal and Shalom.